Hello humans, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, we shape and polish Ethiopian opal using a dremel. We turn them into cabochons. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing. Today we're going to be working on this spectacular piece of Ethiopian semi-crystal opal, and it's got some pretty off-the-charts color visible in the rough piece, and it's pretty gosh darn clean in there. You got the blues and the greens, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of a orange reddish color, and you know, it's got a bit of a weird shape, but it's got a bit of a blue body tone too, so I'm really excited to work on this one. When we weigh out the rough piece, it is 3.65 carats, and then it's 11 by 6 by 9 by 14 millimeters. So if you guys want to see how this stone is shaped and polished and turned into a little gem, keep on watching. So for a bit of a game plan here, it has a really uneven bottom, so I'm just marking that to kind of symbolize that that is all going to come off, but I do think I'll be able to get a nice teardrop shape out of this stone. So moving on to my 800 grit diamond sintered bit here, I'm starting by flattening out the back of the stone so that I can work on the sides after that, since the kind of bumpy valley-ish nature of the back is really our biggest problem with this stone, and then after that I can just work it into a teardrop. So I really started by working on those edges of the back, and then once I had it nice and flat, I worked on the sides of the stone to kind of get it a bit more flush because it tapered out around these sides, and just tried to get it into the biggest, nicest kind of teardrop shape as I could looking at it from the back. So once I got the sides kind of worked out there, I started taking out the bumpy piece on the face and working on that in a circular motion as to round out that part and kind of make the little mountainy part of the stone where it domes up kind of blend in seamlessly with the edges. And yeah, once I got that all figured out, I kind of just ran the bit over the whole stone, and then this is kind of what it looks like when it's got the texture of that grit on it, and you can see that it is kind of like a sea glass looking piece. And then moving on to my nova points, I'm starting around the edges, and then I work on flattening out the back, getting these scratches off of the back, and then I do the face last so that I can concentrate on the face a bit more. And each of the points along the way, I'm drying it off, taking a look at it, making sure that I have all the scratches out of it. So, I don't know if you guys can tell, there's a little bit of extra light going on in this video, and that is because I got a nail vacuum for my opal carving to suck the dust into it so it doesn't go floating around my house, because as you guys who watch my channel know, or if you're just a general opal cutter, you know that that dust is deadly stuff. You do not want that in the air. So I have my little nail dust sucker, and then I'm also wearing my mask and everything else to, you know, keep it out of my lungs, but also keep it out of the house. So I spent like 60 bucks on this like air dust thing, and it seems to be working out pretty well. It has like a tube that goes up so that it can suck the dust right from the dremel, and the light is awesome because I think it helps to illuminate the dremel a little bit better. So I highly suggest going and picking up one of those things if you also cut opal in your house. If you have a porch area or like an enclosed kind of gardeny area, definitely you could do it outside. I live in a very cold area in a dry cabin with no opening windows, so it's a really big deal for me to get something like this. But yeah, once you're done with the pink Nova Point, it should be at a pseudo polish, but keep in mind that it will still have a little bit of scratches on it, as is the nature of it. And if you are somebody who works with cerium oxide, you can go straight in for cerium right after this pink Nova Point. And I've seen people do it countless times, so I know it can be done, but I will always be going in with my diamond grit pastes because it's just what I enjoy. So this is what the stone looks like after the pink Nova Point, and you can see it does have a bit of a polish on it, but it's a little bit scratchy too, and those scratches will come out on the polishing paste or the cerium, whichever you go for. And at this point it is 1.74 carats, but keep in mind we will be taking carats off of it. So this is the stone after all the water has drained out of it, and as you can see, it has gained some opacity. It has a little bit more color, but the colors were pretty prevalent still when it was full of water. And at this point, it is 1.53 carats, so that really tells you how much water weight was inside of the stone. So as I said before, you can just do cerium oxide and continue polishing the stone on cerium oxide instead of doing this polishing paste process, or you could do this polishing paste process that I do with the lapidary paste and do cerium oxide afterwards. Now I prefer just doing the pastes because I get a little bit of consistency. It does take a little bit of extra time, you know, to go through all of these bits and, you know, take them out of the Dremel, put in the next one. But I really do find that it's not too invasive, and I get a really consistently polished product out of it. But if you're working with cerium and you have like one of those awesome freaking cerium wheels, you know, definitely go for that. It is traditional. I, in the past, have had bad luck with that, with the cerium oxide absorbing into the stone and leaving a bit of a white cast. But, you know, you got to take it on a stone per stone basis. Some stones aren't going to do that. Some are. I just kind of am meh about it, you know, and I'm really happy with my polishing pastes. They're not that expensive. I think I paid $35 per full grit, you know, situation of it, and then I paid like another $18 for my felt tips, which I have a bunch of small ones that came with it that I don't think I'll ever end up using. I really like these bigger barrel shaped ones, but you can really do it however you want. You can get a more pointed sort of a felt tip, or you can even get one that looks like kind of like a little wheel, and then do it you know, towards the Dremel, where it'll be like, you know, it's like a flat bit that spins around like a disc. I've seen those are really cool. Also, I've seen the Opal Mills does this genius thing where he takes sandpaper and he puts it in between these two little grippers on his Dremel, and he sands his opals with that. So there's many different ways that you can go about this, and just go with what you've got or what you're comfortable with. The polishing paste can be really slippery because it's oil-based, so that's something to keep in mind. And yeah, since the cerium is water-based, that's why I have a little less luck with it, but with opals that absorb water less, like Australian opal or Brazilian opal or Mexican opal, you know, that's cerium is the way to go. And people have been doing it for what, 100 years or something. So definitely do what you're comfortable with. I just do this because it's what I'm comfortable with. And feel free to use a DOP stick or a anti-dropping device to keep you from dropping your stone. Now, I have a table underneath my Dremel so that I don't lose my stone nearly as much. And I'll also lay out cloths all along my floor just to make sure that it doesn't get lost, and if it falls on a cloth, I can see it very clearly. If you're working with a lighter color stone, lay down a darker color cloth. If you're working with a darker color stone, lay down a lighter colored cloth. And that way you'll always be able to find it. And if you have cement floors or something, it won't crack and shatter on the floors. I do have wood floors, but there's still a risk of if you drop it, it drops too hard and it cracks and shatters, and nobody wants that. You put all that work into a stone, and then all you get out of it is some crumbs. It's pretty sad. It's like, yeah, you can put that in a jar or make a mosaic with it, but we all want those thick, juicy cabochons to make jewelry with. Am I right, or am I right? But I do find that if you go through all these polishing pastes and then do cerium on a stone that absorbs water a little bit less, it can actually improve the polish past the 0.25. So just keep that in mind and do what you're comfortable with. And this is the stone finished, and I got a great polish on it. Super happy with the colors and the like chaff pattern on the top, or maybe it's brush stroke pattern, and the kind of broader pattern on the bottom. It's freaking phenomenal. So the finished weight of the stone is 1.53 carats. So we didn't really lose that many carats from the polishing, if any. So definitely keep that in mind. And then the finished size is 8 millimeters by 11 millimeters by 4 millimeters. So we definitely were able to save some of the area of that stone. So this is the stone before we cut it. It really was showing off all of its colors. It had all those exposed sides, and it didn't have like a whole lot of texture on it, so it was plain as day to see that this was a gorgeous stone. Didn't even need to shine the flashlight through it because you can see how perfect it is as is. And we ended up losing a total of 2.12 carats, so I was able to save about a third of the stone after all that. But you know, 1.5 carats ain't too shabby, and those colors are freaking phenomenal. You know me, I love a good crystal, but look at the back on this one. Like, god damn! That is some good color. The teals and the greens are so bright, and I absolutely love that brushstroke pattern on the top of the stone. The mixed up patterns that you get with opal is just so crazy cool. It really makes every opal so unique, and I could not be more pleased with this stone. I know I say that a lot, but I really mean it. And do you guys see that little bit of fuchsia, that little bit of orange? It's really coming in from all directions, and let me tell you, when I looked at this stone in the sunlight, it beams even brighter than under this little lamp light that I use here. And I'm really trying to show off that red-orange that we have on the bottom section there. It's just absolutely off the charts mesmerizing. I cannot stop looking at this one. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. If you have a friend to share this with, share it with that friend. You only need one friend. And you know, that would be cool. If you have anything to say, I would love it if you leave a comment. I almost always reply to my comments, and I'll see you guys next time that I post a video. Later.